good morning, everybody. Welcome to CPI Wednesday, September 13th. And what you're looking on that screen, even though it says September 13th on it, that's not today. Could be, but that's not today. This is looking back at last year. This was the exact same day that we had CPI last year, the exact same day. And as you can see, it was an absolute shit show. Now, not to, tout too much, because we are pretty much right 220 out of the 250 days out of the year. But this is going through the emails last year, going at the Monday, September 12th watch. Incredibly overbought, highlighting where our bear market lines are. CPI tomorrow. And this is on Monday, and we were talking about SPX 411465. Anyway, blah, 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 blah. Friday's highs are our Tuesday dip play, SPX 4077, SPY 40750, QQQ 30750, IWM 18750. But any day, going through where we are, again, just wanting to show you here, and your trade setups. This is on Monday. The Tuesday, September 14th, SPX 4000 puts. They are under $6 as of Monday morning when we were getting ready to start trading. Wednesday, because we didn't have 0 DTE on SPY, we had Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 400 puts, same thing, just like QQQ 304. The Wednesday, September 15th, SPY 400 puts closed at $1.58 on Friday. So they should be opening closer to $1 because we were having a little bit more of a run-up as the week went on. And then the same thing over there on Wednesday. And as you went through and as you go through, you can see here, we did have a spread trade on for the week, which was the SPX 4125, 4130 calls. Those were for September 13th for options expert or for CPI day, 120, 380 risk. But then the trade being a debit spread, selling the 400 puts, buying the 403 puts, $86 risk, $214 profit, 248%. And then we went into the Tuesday looking at CPI, and it didn't really matter, repeating everything that we were at and discussing everything on it, because what we wound up getting there was kaboom. Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. Now, even if Michelle Obama was bullish, this right here would give her a boner. It was epic. And what I've been able to do here is just to bring you back and show you on the ES how we were looking last year. This is a 1-hour chart from that Wednesday prior to September 6th, and that climb that we made as we were going into September 11th, which was on the weekend. September 12th was our Monday, right here, right up here, and here is your CPI candle. This is a 1-hour candle, just 1 hour. Kabam! Down 100 points. And then we continued to float off as we went into Friday. And as you all know, it continued to get worse and worse and worse all the way until a month later into October where we bottomed. Well, I'll go the other way. Here's where we are on the ES for now. We've fractionally made it back into the gap from the rollover, but we're still hanging. We're still hanging tight right here at 45.1250. There's nothing out anywhere screaming and hollering, we're going to hell in a handbasket, and it's a repeat of last year. Nothing whatsoever. We have our CPI data, which you guys have all been prepped on. Where are we? Yeah, CPI. CPI data you've been prepped on. You've seen that these last 4 CPI reports, we have been closing green, although we have been closing below the open on different occasions, but we did have those 25 and 26 point ranges, which are very untradeable if all you're doing is playing calls and puts and you're not doing spreads. We haven't had a major day since March. And March was a little bit different there because March we had bottomed. It wasn't spectacular, but again, you see these gap ups. We've been gapping up every single CPI since all the way back here in February. And if you recall, February, we were in a bearish movement coming off of that February top. So CPI report today coming out at 8:30, it will give us a chance to look at it, see what we're working with, and go from there, which is what we always do. But coming back over onto the spreads, again, it is quad witching OPEX at the end of the week. Keep track of this. You already have all the details that you need for that. So looking at yesterday, 44.90, 44.85 puts or calls. Not once for the overnight guys, but twice after we got that bounce midday. 67% return, full credit, closing there at 44.61.90. Never hit plus 1%, never hit minus 1%, never hit a safe range, top or a bottom. And range is getting very compressed. Very compressed. Here we are now going since September 6th. 27, 25, 23, 30 points. Range is incredibly compressed and extremely prepared for a breakout. So today, buckle up, Buttercup. So whatever direction we decide that we're going into, and you have been very well prepped going into this, ready for the month, ready for this week, ready for next week, today we will get some movement. We have had 2 days since we hit that 43.56 double bottom to 43.35. 2 days where we have traded greater than this tight little range. One day we traded there at 39.90. That was the first day of the month. Other than that, we've been trading 30 points or less every day, except for your two, your big August 29th and your big September 6th. So buckle up, Buttercup. We are going to get some range today. QQQ, nothing. At least we got 4.5 points yesterday on the range, but nothing. Puts played well. Almost came down to where we were looking for, but we're still stuck here. We are still stuck right there at that 23.6 retracement on this September dip. We have not broken out below that 37.85 to start getting some confirmation below that 368. So that is still pending. And on that, there could be a little bit of assistance as we look over here to Apple. Apple, the number one, number two, whatever you want to call it, flip-flop, Microsoft, Apple, biggest weight. This was another one of those trades that you were set up well ahead in advance as to how Apple responds to their event day. Those of you that are in the spreads, congratulations. Sit back, enjoy a pina colada. You are going to enjoy the credit that you are going to get, which will be full at the very end of this week. So SPX, so here's where we're at. We opened up, put in the highs of the week the very first couple of minutes, put in the lows of the week yesterday right around 320, and then had that, come on, we filled the gap, little bounce, because we filled that gap that was over there from the prior weekend. Look back at a 5-day, 5 minutes, so we can see. Here's your gap right here, came right over there and filled it. We're going nowhere, and it's not any benefit to anybody. Projections are wide. Short-term projections are needing to be, reacted to. And because we have had such a short range or a small range, such a tight range, again, it's one of the reasons why we have used our forecast going out into the end of the month, beginning of October, in order to capture all of the movement that we're expecting to get, which as of right now, there is 0 changes. 0. No changes whatsoever, which will allow me to come back to where we are currently, not on the ES, but more importantly on our best friend, the VIX. And here we are at 1451. We're right at 1451. How you like those apples? We do have a little bit of a gap overnight, but we have been filling these gaps overnight for the last couple of days. We do have a little tiny gap overnight, which needs to be respected, but we are right at that 1451 area, which, as you all know, is where we get our decisions. So we have CPI coming out at 8:30. Between now and 8:30, there is a lot of, Well, this is going to happen. Well, no, that's going to happen. No, it's going to be this. No, I'm telling you, it's going to be that. And none of that shit means anything because you're playing a video game which is pre programmed. And when the programming hits the algorithm button and says go, then you go. And as we see over here on the QQQ, we have almost filled that gap going back to last week. And we are still hovering on that 50-day moving average. This is where your meat and potatoes is. Your meat and potatoes is inside the QQQ. When the QQQ decides that the steak has all been eaten and the potatoes have all been eaten, you start looking at your 371, your 370, and below that, your 368. Until such time, we are stuck in our quad witching OPEX fuckery, which will continue to go on until the end of the week, which is Friday. Have a beautiful morning, a fantastic cup of coffee. Enjoy your morning shit. Enjoy your morning drive. And I will see you all in the chat room when everybody is freaking out after the CPI report comes out at 8:30.
Boom.